good afternoon from Cape Town, AfricaCom 2024. I'm here together with Robert Ouart, CEO of ISSL. Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, Akim. Nice to meet you too.
Robert, digital transformation is that topic in Africa. So we look all around Africa, connectivity, bridging the digital divide. Can you share a bit more from your experience as a private ISP? How you see the industry moving, the market moving, and how can we connect the unconnected?
Yes, actually it's a very big challenge because, as you know, deploying infrastructure to provide the broadband, especially on fiber optic, is very expensive. So it will take some time before we can really talk about blanket coverage, especially in areas where electricity is still lacking and basic services are still lacking. But what I can speak about is about the big cities. Big cities, most of big capitals in Africa, in the continent, are starting to get broadband infrastructure to provide high-speed internet and high capacity at affordable cost. Basically, mostly are on the shores because they are very close to the cable landing stations. So this is a continuity where you do investment in terrestrial network, so we can bring fiber to the household, to the building, etc. Now on the national scale, when you go out from cities, a few kilometers, you're getting into rural already, or peri-urban, what we call it. And that's a different situation where we still need to use wireless technology and even satellite technologies that still have its meaning in many parts of the continent.
All right. So you earlier mentioned affordable internet connections through fiber to the home. So how do you realize that? Does it come through investment, and how is it from an investment perspective when you see it from a short-term strategy and long-term strategy?
Actually, when you deploy fiber network and passive infrastructure, it's a very long return on investment. Okay. So where our company is like an example of the inability to continue and grow if you don't have on board with you investment funds or DFIs or even people from the industry that can join you and grow your company, grow the company with you. As individual shareholders, physical person, it's very tough because you need to always work on a fundraising model, working on a debt model. So at one point when you reach a certain stage of maturity, you have to start looking for alternatives, and alternatives are opening the capital of your company to investors and grow with them, actually. Yeah.
So we already know that a faster and more affordable or cheap internet connectivity really can help to accelerate digital economic growth.
Absolutely.
How do you see it in rural areas from a technology perspective? How can you provide connectivity to rural and semi-rural areas?
You can provide it. If you have remote cities that are over 200, 250,000, now it makes sense to just put fiber infrastructure. But smaller towns, you still have to rely on wireless technologies that are cheaper to deploy, quicker to deploy, and also on satellite technology. Of course, Starlink was this disturber, and there's a space for this kind of products in Africa. Where we can have the ease of deployment and also at rates that are affordable to, I'm not saying to the majority, but at least for some type of the middle income class.
All right. When we look at these rural areas, what is your strategy to cater them with internet connectivity?
It helps when in general governments, they build backbones, so this will ease for an ISP or for an operator to use these backbones to deploy the distribution network. But you have to really study the business viability. Usually what we do a geo-marketing study to see how many households can afford to pay $20 or $25 per month type of service. Now there's another model where you can put Wi-Fi hotspots and where people can come, even if it's connected to a fiber node, but people can come and spend 50 cents, 30 cents, $1, but on a constant basis, I mean on daily basis or weekly basis, and maybe also sometimes take like affordable subscription for a week, for a day, for a month. So you have to innovate in order to bring as much connectivity as possible to these areas, to these areas that are still in a precarious income from an income point of view. Yeah.
So it's very important then, especially in your example, that the private and public sector work strong together.
Yes, it should, and there are some initiatives where you can have support from the international community, from donors or from big philanthropic like Microsoft or Apple or else that that can sponsor part of the cost. Even the OTT players are also doing it because they're heavily investing in submarine cable as well to bring to lower the cost of connectivity.
What would you say is necessary to finally bridge the digital divide and connect the unconnected in Africa?
Well, a lot of things. It's a combination of first access to energy, access to literacy, because you have to know how to use a device. You have to know how to read and write, and then you have to have access to affordable devices, and then you have to have access to affordable services. That's our role, to bring down the service as low as possible. But it's a combination of public involvement, from donors, from the international community, and also from the operator. Yes.
In your long experience you have in this industry, what would be your desired outcome for the next 5 to 10 years? Or if you would have a wish list, what would you say, look, that's what we finally must overcome in order really to move a bit faster forward?
I think that what is making that the cost did not really come to a lower level, it's because of the taxation. Because until now, most of the government, they rely on taxes that they can collect from the telecom sector, telecommunication and digital sector. So that's where an effort should be made. How to accompany the people that are investing in this field and give them access to affordable financing, and also give them the opportunity to invest whatever revenues they do instead of paying it, just taxing them high amount of taxes. Yes.
So you would agree we still have the problem that governments seeing the mobile sector or the connectivity sector more as a revenue stream, or we can say cash cow. All right. All right. That was very insightful. Thanks for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you. That was Tech Africa News from AfricaCom 2024. You can find more on techafricanews.com.